over?
We are looking at count 1, guilty. Count 2, guilty. Count 3, guilty. Count 4, guilty. Count 5, guilty. Those are the first 5 counts coming out of this jury finding Donald J. Trump guilty on the first 5 felony counts. Reading the rest as we are getting it from our court reporters.
Starting with count 6.
Count 6, guilty. Count 7, guilty. Count 8, guilty. And you'll see on the screen we're tracking ahead. Count 9, guilty. Count 10, guilty. Count 11, guilty. Count 12, guilty. Count 13, guilty. Count 14, guilty. Count 16, guilty. Count 17, guilty. Count 18, guilty. Count 19, guilty. Count 20, guilty. Count 21, guilty. Count 22, guilty. Count 23, guilty. Count 24, guilty. Count 25, guilty. Count 26, guilty. Count 27, we're seeing that on the screen, guilty. Count 28, guilty. Those are the first 28 felony counts here as read by the jury. Count 29, guilty. Count 30, guilty. Count 31, guilty. Count 32, guilty. Count 33 and 34, guilty. That is Donald J. Trump, defendant in New York versus Donald Trump, found guilty on all 34 felony counts. That is the verdict here in this case.
Rachel?
Listen, it's a unanimous jury verdict, unanimous on all counts. This is a definitive and, this is an irreducible verdict. He can appeal. I'm sure he will appeal. But this is everything that the prosecution asked for from a jury that, by all accounts, took this thing very, very seriously. We counted the deliberation hours down here. The test here for us as a country is not about what happens on appeal and is not about what happens in sentencing. The test for us now as a country is whether or not this former president and his allies will have succeeded in trying to undermine the rule of law so that people reject this as a legitimate function of the rule of law in our country. They have tried to delegitimize this judge. They have tried to delegitimize this court. They have tried to delegitimize these proceedings. They've even tried to delegitimize the laws that he was charged under. Those efforts are the test that we now have as a country. The people involved in bringing this case have been threatened and intimidated and had everything brought to bear on against them in a way that was designed to delegitimize this process in the eyes of the American people. It is now in the hands of the American people to decide if we will accept those efforts or whether we will stand by the rule of law and recognize this as a fair proceeding.
Well, a wise woman said a few nights ago, 2 Mondays ago, that the rule of law is mortal. It needs to be protected. It isn't an abstract thing. And today, the people have names that we've all come to know. They're named Joshua Steinglass. They're named Alvin Bragg. They're named Susan Oppinger.
Yeah. And there are other cases that are pending against Donald Trump as a criminal defendant. The difference is that we now know as a country what it is to put a former president on trial and to see that trial to fruition. That is something that was hypothetical before we ever had this guy as a former president. But now we have lived through it, and we know that the court process can work. A defendant who is a former president can be tried as a normal defendant. Again, the appeals process will go on, the sentencing process will go on, and those will all be pressure points. But the legal system in this country treats any form.
Okay. Y'all seen the video, right? Smash that like button. Who y'all got winning this presidential election? Is a felon running for office? Is it Trump or is it Biden? I mean, left wing, white wing, like left wing, white wing is still the same bird. Forbidden Knowledge, I forget his name, but from Forbidden Knowledge said that quote, left wing, white wing, right wing is still the same bird, so it doesn't matter. What y'all think about his 34 counts felony guilty? Ooh. It seems like, I don't believe in coincidences, but this right here must be Biden's chess move, right? Because if he's a felon, he can't go to what's coming up in June and August. You know, would he be indicted then, prior, before, or after? Can a felon even be the president? Whoa. That's a whole different. That's a game changer. Put game changer down below. Put a 1 in the chat if you think that Trump is still going to continue to run for presidency. Put a 2 in the chat if you think that Biden just killed him with his chess move. Put a 3 in the chat if you don't, it doesn't matter, red or blue, it ain't for you. Can we talk about it? Can we talk about it? One moment. So I'm looking at it like, it's not looking too good for Trump. You know, we know that Biden still owns the courts right now, so everything is going to be in his favor, according to the courts. They say he's guilty of counts of money laundering and all this other stuff, right? But I look at it like, don't they all do the same thing? So if Trump still decides to run for president, you know what this means? The rules that they put in place never mattered in the first place. Can we talk about it? The rule that they put in place didn't matter in the first place. If that happens, if you continue to run. 2 is that, okay, can Biden do another 4 years? No, like, do y'all really believe that it's healthy for a 90-year-old? Can y'all tell me how old is he down in the chat? I'm not sure. Let's just say between 85 and 90, right? Is it healthy for someone that's up there like that to be responsible for a nation? Now, we know that he has his counsel, he have everything around him that he needs, right? He has his resources and his support system. So that's what's keeping him alive. Only thing you have to do is read from the screen. But if you can barely read from the screen, right? You can barely read from the screen. If you can barely read from the screen, then it's like, what else? And will he pass his drug test? Is he on opioids all day long? He is of age, correct? So saying it all to say, right? This is a very, y'all know how sticky it gets. This is a very sticky situation. Can we talk about it? This is a sticky situation because 2024 election coming out. Will Biden even be in the race, or will they hit you with the okey doke and put somebody else in? I think they're going to hit you with the okey doke and put somebody else in, right? And then Trump is going to be disqualified based on the fact that he's going to be disqualified based on the fact that he's a felon. Let me know. Leave your thoughts down below. I really want to know what you think about this one, right? Biden, Trump, and then leave some comments down below because I want to know what's your thoughts on Trump being found guilty. Was this a political play done on Biden's behalf? Did he order the judge to do these things? Hypothetically speaking, allegedly speaking, we don't know that for sure, so let's not assume that, right? But hey, power is power, and right now Biden has the power. He's the president. Trump is just simply a businessman. So Biden, to me, can pull all sorts of strings out of his hat. He's Houdini. He's the magician. On that note, peace, blessings, and love. Smash that like button. Tell a friend to tell a friend. This is the beginning. This is not the end. Another episode of the Healthy Discussion Show.